Today, we can continue to look at the John chapter 1, verse 6. John chapter 1, verse 6, Stouter's Bible, as you're looking at the screen here, talking about the Ioannes. That is the Greek pronunciation. English pronunciation is John, who is John the Baptist. And then it starts with there came into existence human being. And then last sermon, I went over from the John chapter 1 verse 1 through John chapter 1 verse 6. Apostle John, here in the book of John, is talking about the Genesis chapter 1, which is talking about Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through the Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. That is our 7 days processing. And then those 7 days processing is my salvation process. And then Apostle Paul is mentioned about first Adam through the second Adam to become the last Adam. So that's why John chapter 1 verse 1, in beginning, which is the same as Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, Bereshit. And then Greek text is enarche. And then talking about word is imperfect status, and then the imperfect word that exists in my beginning, in the first Adam status, moving forward to the God. I know English translate with the God, which is totally wrong translation, incorrect translation. And then the preposition here in the Greek text talking pros. Pros is not with. Pros is forward to the God. So then imperfect word becomes the truth of God, that is the God's. And then the 1:3 is talking about all living through Him. That's why when you looking at the Genesis chapter 1, it shows the all living, isn't it? Right? Bird in the air, and then the beasts on the field, and then fishes in the ocean, in the sea. And then also trees, fruits, grass, creeping things, all those things is talking about my internal status. So people who only understand Genesis chapter 1 as a creation of universe, they totally understanding different way what the God in the Bible is talking about. So 1:3, John chapter 1 verse 3 talking about all living through the word. And then it talking about the light. The light showing up in the Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, right? And then light appears in the darkness. So darkness status is the first Adam status. So here Apostle John exactly mentioned from the Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 through Genesis chapter 2 verse 3. So then Bible again is talking about myself. So the God, Jesus, heaven and earth, all living creature is talking in the Bible, but that is talking about my salvation process. That's why by knowing me is knowing God. By knowing me is knowing Jesus Christ. By knowing me is knowing the heaven. By knowing me is knowing the earth. By knowing me is knowing to everything. Because that is talking about my true ego. And then the ego that you're thinking about who you are. When you go to my blog, I put the 7 days in the Bible, 7 stages of growth from the first Adam to the last Adam. Apostle Paul here talking about 1 Corinthians chapter 15, it says 45 verse, it says the first man Adam. Looking at the first man Adam, ho protos, andropos, Adam. So andropos is Adam. Adam is the andropos. Adam is the Hebrew word. Andropos is the Greek word. If you look at the andropos, the strong number is 444. When you're looking at the dictionary, andropos properly man-faced. Not the beast-faced, right? Not the bird-faced, right? Not the creeping thing-faced. And then concretely, a human being, man or female. And then generally, all human beings. Indefinitely, a man, someone, one. This is the compound word. 435 is the aner. Aner is the man. And then ops is the countenance. That's why properly here says man-faced equal the human being. Human being, that is andropos translation from the Greek word. And then Hebrew is the Adam. Adam. That's why understanding the who I am, understanding the Adam, is understanding the Bible, understand everything. That's why 45 verse, 1 Corinthians 15, chapter 15, first man Adam became a living being, all living being creature, and the last Adam became a life-giving spirit. So living being transformed to become the life-giving spirit. That is my salvation process. That is my growing process. And then, however, the spiritual is not first, the natural, afterward the spiritual. The first man was of the earth and made of dust. The second man is the Lord from heaven. So, first man Adam, meeting the second man, the Lord whose name is Christos Jesus from heaven, to become the last Adam, to become one with Christos Jesus, to become the life-giving spirit. That's why understanding the Bible as the entire Bible is very important. If you go to my blog, I put the 7 days in the Bible, and then I put this one. We must have the perspective of understanding the entire 66 books of the Bible as what? As one book. Because all prophets, every writers in the Bible is talking about what? Talking about the God, isn't it? Right? That's the main subject, isn't it? Then who is God? Who is God? So different author talking about different way, but it all talking about what then? One true God, right? So this author is talking about many this way, this author talking about this way, but it all talking about one God, one true God. That's why entire 66 books, when we go to in the detail, it looks like they are talking about different things. It could look like talking about the history. It looks like talking about biology. It looks like talking about how this planet is created in many different ways, but it all talking about only one true God, Christos Jesus, who is inside you. Then what is your identity? You are God's. That's what we were talking so far, isn't it? Christos Jesus is mentioned, John chapter 10, verse 34, right? Then kingdom of heaven is the place to become the God's. God goes to God's, right? God lives in God's country, God's nation, isn't it? So I put the two picture over here. If you only look at the first picture, who looks like a attacking person, who looks like a victim? This person looks like an attacker, isn't it? Right? And then this person looks like a victim, right? But when you zoom out, look at this picture. It looks totally different way, isn't it? Right? You learn this picture when you're majoring in the journalism and then when you major in media in the university. It's shown in the textbook. So how are you looking at the entire 66 Bible? In this way or in this way? Even though you're looking at this picture, depends on who's standing in front of here, depends on what angle he wants to show, it can be totally different story, isn't it? Book of Genesis, Book of Exodus, Book of Deuteronomy, all 66 entire Bible. Whatever idea you have, whatever perspective you want to look at it, it can be totally different story, it can be totally different way. That's why I show you the second picture here. The first one is broadcasting through the Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera TV broadcasting station. As you're looking here, the M16 rifle is pointing at to who? Iraqi force. It looks like trying to shoot him at him, isn't it? And look at the far right side. US soldier is giving a what? Drink to the Iraqi soldier. This one broadcasting through the CNN in United States. So Al Jazeera showing in this way, US troop is killing the Iraqi troops. CNN broadcasting to the US, oh, we are the good friendly force. We are helping the Iraqi force. But this is on the middle, this is the one rear picture. So two soldiers in the middle, one soldier is not threatening to the Iraqi soldier. He just slinging on his shoulder M16 rifle. He doesn't do anything. He just helping out the other soldier, giving the drink to the Iraqi soldier. So depends on the Al Jazeera who's watching from the channel. Depends on the CNN who's watching from the channel. The Iraqi soldier and the US soldier, you can look at it totally different perspective, isn't it? Another picture I would like to show to you. Look at this woman. This woman looks like in the airplane, look through the window, outside through the airplane, isn't it? But this picture really taken in this way. They put the plastic chair, the woman is inside, depends on angle they are taking, that makes this picture. Look at another one here. Looks like this woman look outside through the airplane, isn't it? But looking at this one, this lady is smiling, right? The smiling, isn't it? What is this? This one is the toilet seat. So using one toilet seat and the background of the airplane, and then they can make a picture. If she put this one in the Facebook and wherever, people can see, oh, where is she going? Is she going to Puerto Rico? Is she going to Hawaii? Oh, she's going to the nice vacation, isn't it? But actually, she's taking this one at her house using the toilet seat. That's why looking at the Bible, understanding the Bible, depends on who's looking at it, depends on who's translating. It is critical. Because Bible is talking about God. Bible is talking about eternal life. Bible is talking about how to be saved. Bible is talking about who am I? Why do you need to know the God? Why do you believe Jesus? Why do you need to understand heaven and earth? Understand me is the key, isn't it? Who am I is the key, isn't it? Right? That's why Bible has to understand one book talking about one true God. So Bible talking about my 7 days stage, that is my salvation processing. I as a what? Human being. Then we are studying John chapter 1 verse 6. There came existence, human being, whose name is Johannes. English pronunciation is John the Baptist. So understanding the Bible is a 7 days process. As I mentioned here, whole 7 days is as a subject of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 as an introduction. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim bet haaretz. That is the first sentence. But English translation is totally incomplete. That's why Bible has to understand through the Old Testament Hebrew, New Testament Greek. And then one day process is talking about Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 through Genesis chapter 1 verse 5. That is the one day. But English translated as fourth day, right? Ordinal number. But Hebrew text is not ordinal number. Hebrew text is the cardinal number. One day. It is not the fourth day. The one day process is the fourth Adam. That is the Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 through chapter 5 is talking about fourth Adam content. That talking about chapter 1 verse 2 through 5. That's the fourth Adam story, which is my one day story. That's why when we're looking at the Adam as a Hebrew word, not only Genesis chapter 1 is showing of the Adam, when you go to the Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, it showed Adam also. Let's go there, which is 6 days Adam, okay? 6 days Adam. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26. Then God said, let us make man. You see, look at the man here. Look at the Hebrew text. Adam, right? So, Nashe Adam. Asa Adam. Asa Adam. So, this Adam is different from the Genesis chapter 2 verse 5. Because when you look at Genesis chapter 2 verse 5, it's the one day fourth Adam, isn't it? Right? Then 126, Genesis chapter 126, this one is the 6 days Adam, which is talking about my status, my one day Adam status, my 6 day Adam status, right? Mm-hmm. You see the Asa Adam, they said let us make, but this is a car verb. If you look at the Hebrew Greek morphological code, Asa is make or do. Let's look at the dictionary, 6213. Hebrew 6213. Asa is what? To do or make. So make Adam or do Adam. Either or, isn't it? So 6 days Adam is make. Yehovah God is making. Yehovah God is doing. 6 day Adam, right? Make Adam or do Adam. Who is this Adam? Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ is born in 6 days. That's why when we go to the New Testament Hebrew, chapter 3, verse 2, start from verse 1. Therefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, heavenly inviting, consider the apostle and high priest of our confession, who? Jesus Christ. English translate consider, but Greek, kata noeo. I think when we study John chapter 1 verse 5, I was explain about the preposition kata, isn't it, right? Kata is the against. Kata is the down from. The direction is the down, right? And then kata also is intensity, right? So here is the intensity, okay? Strongly, right? Completely, right? Hardly, right? Enthusiastically, right? There is a kata concept here. What is the noeo? Do you remember metanoeo? English translates repent, isn't it? But metanoeo is not repent, right? Meta is a combined join. Noeo is what? Understanding, perceiving, right? So then kata noeo, right? Understand intensely, right? Understand thoroughly. Understand hardly. Understand deeply. That kind of a kata concept is here. Okay? So consider, understand deeply, intensely, right? Research it thoroughly, right? Study thoroughly, right? About who? Or the apostle high priest whose name is what? Jesus Christ. Study intensely, understand the Jesus Christ. He is the apostle. He is the high priest. Then about this Jesus Christ, verse 2 is talking like this. Who was faithful to him, who appointed him. Totally incorrect translation here. Okay? Look at the Greek text. You see, appointed this one, right? What is it? Poiesanti. Poieo, right? Poieo is the same as asa. You see, I just showing to you asa, to do or make, in the Hebrew word. Greek word is the poieo, the strong number, 4160. Let's go to 4160 here. Greek word, 4160. Poieo is what? Make do, same thing, isn't it? Right? So then what is the correct translation on verse 2? Piston, faithful. Onta, you see VPP, be verb, participle present. Then how should we translate? Being, right? Being or existing. Continuously, habitually, repeatedly existing and being. Who? Jesus Christ. Faithful being, you see here, DDMS, determiner, dative, masculine, singular, right? To the poieo, you see BPAA, participle aorist, which is a past participle, right? So then you can say what? Made, right? Or did or made, right? Because the past tense right here, right? What is the past of the make? Made, right? What is the past of do? Did, right? So we can use made. So faithful, being, right? Being faithful, makes sense? Being faithful, existing faithful to the one made him. So who made Jesus Christ? Based upon Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, Jehovah God made the Adam. We just saw that, isn't it? Right? 126, we are here. It is not let us make, okay? Okay? This is a car verb. Car verb in Hebrew is the simple active, okay? So just make or do. Make or do what? Jesus Christ. We just saw the New Testament Hebrew chapter 3 verse 2, right? In our image, right? In our image. That's why Christ is the what? Image of God. We went to already 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 6, isn't it? So then 6th day is the day Christos Jesus is manifesting inside me. Imperfect word manifesting inside me, isn't it? That's why we haven't go yet when we go to John chapter 1 verse 1, 14. Finally, 14 show what? The word became what? Flesh, right? Imperfect word became what? Flesh. My flesh, Christos Jesus, is manifested. What day? 6th day, right? That's why 6th day is Christos Jesus is born inside me. Your understanding is bring forth inside me by receiving the Spirit of His Son, based upon the Galatians chapter 4. We already looking at that, right? So, first Adam through the second Adam to become the last Adam. That is my salvation process. 7 days processing, like I just here showing to you, right? And then second day is Genesis chapter 1 verse 6 through verse 8. Second day man is talking about Noah, isn't it? Noah's story is showing the Genesis chapter 6 through chapter 11, right? That's why Jesus is talking in the New Testament. Days of Noah, right? So the Son of Man is the same day as the days of Noah, isn't it, right? And then he's using the second day story, right? And then the third day is talking about Genesis chapter 1, verse 9 through 13. Third day man is the Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. That covers the Genesis chapter 12, chapter 15. And then fourth day is talking about Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 through 19 is the fourth day. And then fourth day man is talking about Moses, Exodus through Deuteronomy, right? And then fifth day, Genesis chapter 1, verse 20 through 23. And then fifth day man, prophet, king, priest is talking about Joshua through Malachi, right? That's the end of the Old Testament Bible, right? And then the sixth day, Genesis chapter 1, 24 through 31. Sixth day man is what? Jesus Christ, Christos Jesus. That's why we just saw the chapter 1, verse 26, right? Asa, make, do, Adam, right? Talking about second Adam, who comes from the heaven, based upon Apostle Paul is talking, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 45, right? We just saw that, right? That is the heaven. Christos Jesus comes from the heaven, right? Then until the sixth day, we do not understanding the heaven, isn't it? Because Old Testament heaven is the how many numbers in heaven? The dual form in heaven, isn't it? That's why until my fifth day salvation process, we do not clearly understand the heaven. But by meeting the Christos Jesus, by understanding the Bible, Christos Jesus is born. I as a Mary, Maria, when Jesus is born, then the heaven, we understand the dual form, two heavens becomes what? One heaven, isn't it? They're talking about when seventh trumpet is sounded, the war is broken in the heaven, isn't it? Michael and his messenger, and then serpent, dragon, and then his messenger. There is a war in the heaven is starting in my heavenly war, isn't it? That is my sixth day. Then seventh day is talking about Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 through verse 3. Until Genesis 2, 1 through 3, until here, in Hebrew Bible is chapter 1 finish on there. But English Bible has different chapter. Chapter 2, verse 1 through verse 3. That 7 days man is the apostle. And then heavenly war finish, and then earthly war is starting. And they go through the water, blood, spirit. They're talking about New Testament Act to the Jude. And then the Revelation is the conclusion. In book of Revelation talking about 7 seals, 7 trumpet, 7 doors. Or 7 days process that I mentioned is summarized in the book of Revelation. That's why Father is in Son, Son is in the Father. I am in the Jesus, Jesus is in me. That's why when we go to John chapter 14 verse 20, it's talking about in that day we all become one, right? Then Garden of Eden that existing inside me is fully manifested, right? And then tabernacle, mystery of tabernacle is fully manifested inside me, right? All 60 entire Bible is full understanding, right? That's why I become the sons of light, sons of day. That's why I put if you are ignorant of the Bible, you will be taken advantage of by those who use it. That's why when we go to the John chapter 4, the conversation between the woman of Samaria and Jesus Christ, and then she had how many husbands? The husband she had 5, but the husband that you have right now is not your husband, isn't it? That's why Apostle Paul, when we go to the 2 Corinthians chapter 11, I betroth to you and make you as a chaste, present you as a chaste virgin to marry with one husband, right? Who is Christ, my permanent husband. They're talking about book of Revelation chapter 21, first earth, fourth heaven passed away, new heaven and earth, that is the new holy city, New Jerusalem, that is the bride of the bridegroom, who is the Lamb, Christos Jesus, isn't it? So those are all talking about my salvation history. That's why knowing myself is very, very important and critical. Bible is talking about me eventually. By knowing God, by knowing Jesus, by knowing every living things, include Satan, serpent, dragon, or kings, priests, whoever's. They are the image of me. Then final image is the Christos Jesus. So I possess the image of God. I possess the Christ. And then I am working as the Jesus, Jesus. That is the conclusion of the Bible. There is no other way. If anyone understands the Bible different way, then all Bible cannot be put it together. They only look at one side, like these pictures. Then you will be taken advantage of by those who use it, understanding the Bible for their own benefit, for their own gain, for their own something. That's why understanding the Bible is critical. And this one is manifested right now. Whoever listening, whoever learning, whoever watching this video, and then they are the one who moving forward to become the children of God. That human being is the starting point. That Apostle John in the book of John is talking in the chapter 1 through the chapter 1 verse 1 through until now verse 6. That's why whenever we see the Bible, man, the first Adam, second man, the Son of Man faced, it all talking about me. But English Bible is all confused with each other. Okay? When we're talking about man in the Bible, the Hebrew, at the same time the Greek word, anthropos translated as man, Adam translated as man, in the Hebrew word, enoshi translated as man, ishi translated as man. Different word translate has to be different way, isn't it? Even though man, you need to open the parentheses, explain, oh, this man is this man is this. You have to do that, at least if you are responsible person to translate the Bible. English Bible didn't do that. Bible didn't do that either. Any Bible didn't do it either. That's why ultimately everybody has to understand the Bible through the original text. The time has come right now, right? In all times, not all time, you are nothing but to understand what's going on in the world in this way, through the Al Jazeera, through the CNN. Nowadays is one media man age we are in. Everybody has what? Cell phone, right? When I'm looking at my blog, not only American people looking at my blog, not only, but also Korean people looking at my blog. When I click it, right? For example, I would like to show it to you actually. You know, when you go to my blog, I know I'm an administrator, that's why, you know. So I'm looking at here. You know, only the January 2022, America is the most clicked, isn't it? Right? And then Korea, right? Philippines, Australia, Canada, Germany, UK, Bulgaria, Ireland, India. Even one click from India, right? So now this generation, this age, right? It's one-man media. You can open up your channel, right? You cannot only rely on the Al Jazeera, you can only rely on the CNN, you can only rely on the Fox News, you can only rely on the ABC, NBC, CBS, whatever case may be. I'm not watching at all anyhow. And then they are pointing with each other, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news, right? Whoever looking for the truth of God, they will come to over here, Star Wars Bible Academy, understanding the Bible through the Greek and Hebrew text. So no one can take advantage from you. Because Bible is talking about I as a one individual, independence country, independence kingdom. God is inside me. Jesus is inside me. I am the gods. You are kings. You are lords. That is the sons of light, sons of day. You are free men. You are not under guardians and stewards. You are not bounded by slavery. You are not bounded by sin. You are not bounded by no one else. You become one with Christus Jesus. You become one with God Father. You are the free man. That is the 7-day man. You are able to delivering the gospel of peace. You are able to delivering the Christus Jesus born inside you, crucified inside you, resurrect inside you, presents inside you. Your name is Jesus. Your name is God's. Every believer is Christian who become one to become the last era. So, Adam, Hava. What is Hava? Eve. Hoping the life mediator. If you are hoping the God's life and looking for the mediator who can be a second Adam, you are the Hava. Okay? It all talking about my name, role, function, right? Ishi is man and husband. Isha is the hoping the man. Zakar is the male. Nekeba is the female. All different function and role and name, all talking about yourself. And those are fully understandable through my 1 day to 7 days process. So next Sunday, we will keep going. Who is human being? Who is anthropos? Who is Adam? And then we are going to look at that. We will keep on looking at study about the human being. Study about I as a human being.